day, owners, and welcome once again down to the Commission's Cave as we move on with a recap of Week 5 and discuss what's coming up in Week 6, and as well as our fantasy players of the week, and look into what's coming ahead in sports world. So first off, I want to shout out again to the Jays. Last week for the video, we had the Jays coming up against the Baltimore Orioles in the wild card game. And we saw how spectacular that was with the 11th inning walk-off 3-run homer by Edwin Encarnacion.
Even though they've turned a lot of double plays. Oh, there's a drive to deep left field, and the ball game is over.
Then in the span of 4 days, the Jays swept the Rangers in 3 games, with finishing up with Donaldson's slide into home in the extra innings for the win on Odor's throwing error to first base. It was nice to see Odor screw up and the Jays get a win off of the public enemy number 1 there.
Roy, run scores on a pass ball, 6-6. So we go into extra innings, first and second, 1 down, Matt Bush pitching, ground ball to short by Russell Martin. Texas tries to turn 2, poor throw by Rougned Odor to first. Here comes Josh Donaldson scoring from second. The Blue Jays celebrate.
The schedule for the American League Finals Championship is set, and the game goes off Friday night, and then there's an early game on Saturday, this coming Saturday. Perfect, right in the middle of football. So Thursday night football, Broncos at San Diego, and then baseball, and then right into Sunday and Monday for football. So a good week coming up here for sports fans. Also, we have the NHL kicking off this week in Edmonton for the Flames tomorrow, and then a home game against the Flames on Friday as well. Looking around the Sky Dome during that last game there on the TV, one of the best signs I saw that came up was this one right here. Okay, enough with baseball, and let's get on to the Week 5 recap. Well, getting into this week's action, first off was the triumphant return of yours truly, Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr., who is now referred to as GOAT, for greatest of all time. He put up 400 plus yards and 3 TDs in his comeback, but still it was not enough for missing Megatron's Johnson to get the win. A well-coached Tuscany Mayhem, a team led by Brandon Marshall, pulled off the win without having to wait to see if Jameson was the right quarterback to have started. Turns out he wasn't. Mayhem, now 1-4, has leapfrogged missing Megatron's Johnson, pushing him into the basement. As mentioned, Megatron's Johnson was led by Tom Brady with 42 points, while Tuscany Mayhem got 30 points from Brandon Marshall, wide receiver for the Jets. Jameson's performance was enough to get Mayhem 1 point more than missing Megatron's Johnson in the points for category, so has leapfrogged over him to second last place in the East Division. Megatron left 34 points on the bench, which would have been enough for a win, while Mayhem left 17 on the bench, which if he had played the perfect team would have held off Megatron's Johnson. In Game 2, we saw Too Tired still could not find the win call as he falls to Huey's Hogs 94-125. Phillip Rivers may have lost the game on the field, but his 39 points for the Hogs led the way. Monday Night Football, Too Tired's running back for Tampa, Artis Payne, put up 21 points on the losing side. Too Tired's big points were on the bench as Mariota put up 36 points, but it still wouldn't have been enough for a win if he was started. On the other side of the field, the Hogs left 18 potential points on the bench. In the Battle of the Ladies, we all remember that, Katie and Assassins came in to Lucas Kicker's home and gave her a kick in the ass. She won 158.5 to 125.5. There was no need for Monday Night Football for this game, as Lucas needed more than 30 plus points from her defensive player to pull off a win. In the all-girl game, Rapist Burger stepped up with 47 points for the Assassins, while Levon Bell's 23 missed the mark for Lucas Kickers. With the Lucas kickers leaving, her highest scoring player, Larry Fitzgerald, on the bench again for 26 points. It should make her feel better that even though if she put up a perfect team, she would have been unable to surpass Acadian Assassin's lead. So she had 27 points on the bench, and the Assassins put in a perfect team with no points left on her bench. Too Tired was probably wishing that he was facing his brother this week, as Jethro's Heroes only put up 86.5 points, but it was enough to get a win over Forsey's Fockers, who were only able to put up 82.5 points. If the Monday Night Football game wasn't such a stinker, Forsey might have been able to pull it off, as the game went right down to the very end. The Fockers came into Monday Night Football with only 37 points and didn't get enough for the win, or do enough to get them out of this week's lowest score. Carson Wentz put up 20 points for the Heroes, aside while Greg Olson on Monday night tried to get a win with 32 points. Forsey left 1 point on the bench, while Jethro's Heroes left 8. Our dog of the week. The most devastating thing in the curtain world was USSR's Iron Curtain, but coming up a close second is Steel Curtain with its 191 to 98.5 win over Mean Green Machine. 4 starters in the mid to high 30s, with T.Y. Hilton leading them with 38 points. The 10 points left on the bench would have pushed him into the fabled 200-point game. Mean Green Machines was led by a happy-to-see Brady-back Gronk with 20 points. This was Gronk's first real outing of the season, but with his running backs and wide receivers in the single digits, there was not a chance for MGM. 7 points on the bench was all he had. The 92.5-point difference in this game is this year's biggest win margin, surpassing MGM's 60 points over Tuscany Mayhem in Week 1. Steel Curtain takes home the $10 this week for posting the highest score. Good job. And now our game of the week. It featured Conley's Crusaders versus Mac Daddy's Madhouse, and Mac Daddy was able to hold on Monday night to squeak out a 157 to 154 win over Conley's Crusaders. Even though Mac Daddy left his best player on the bench, Sammy Cote, who put up 41 points for Pittsburgh in the defensive position, and started his wrong quarterback, Martellus Bennett, another happy to see Brady back, put up 30 points in the victory. Conley left 10 points on the bench, which could have gotten him the win, and a high-flying rushing out of Dallas, Ezekiel Elliott, ran up 36 points for him in his rookie season. Good match. Okay, Week 5. Top scoring players in our fantasy league. Number 5, T.Y. Hilton, Indianapolis wide receiver, put up 38 points for Steel Curtain. And number 4th was Phillip Rivers, quarterback San Diego. He put up 39 points for Huey's Hogs. Number 3 was Sammy Cote, put a wide receiver for Pittsburgh. He put up 41 points as he sat on the bench for Mac Daddy's Madhouse. Number 2, yours truly, Tom Brady, New England quarterback, first week back. 42 points for Megatron Johnson and a loss for them. And the number 1 top scoring fantasy player this week was Ben Rapisberger for Pittsburgh, and he put up 47 points for the Acadian Assassins in their victory. No running backs in the top 5, so the top running back was David Johnson for Arizona. He put up 37 points for Steel Curtain. The top tight end was Greg Olson Monday night for Carolina. He put up 32 points in the loss for Forsey's Fockers. The top defensive player was Victor Beasley Jr., Atlanta, defensive end, put up 29.5 points as a defensive player. And just looking through the top defensive players, once again, we're really doing good at picking people for that. In the top 50, only 1 player was on a team. He was down around 30th position or so, 26th, I believe, and that was Steel Curtain had him. Can't tell you who he is off the top of my head. And the top defense was the Cardinals, who put up 19 points for Jethro's Heroes in their low-scoring affair. And the top kicker was Adam Vinatieri, kicker for Indianapolis, Huey's Hogs, 23 points. Pretty spectacular for a kicker.
With the wind is Vinatieri. And Vinatieri's got another 34 straight.
Matchups. This week is a cross-divisional format. The West is coming to the East as visitors in all the games against the East Coast teams. So we got, will the 3-2 Fockers continue to go worst to first to worst roller coaster ride that they've been doing in their scoring? or will they rebound heading into the 1-4 Tuscany Mayhem, who's on the rebound and on his way up? Will Mayhem continue the climb out of the basement? I think so, and I'm going to take Tuscany Mayhem in this matchup this week. The Acadian Assassins at 3-2 continue on the road to face Connolly's Crusaders, also 3-2. Both are trying to hold out onto a playoff spot, and with the Big Ben heading to Miami, I'm going to take Acadian Assassins in this one. Too Tired 0-5 tries not to be the first team in league history to go to 0-6. However, he faces this week's high-scoring Steel Curtain, who is 3-2. I see history in the making as Steel Curtain in the win column, as possible, and this could possibly be the dog of the week game. I take Steel Curtain. Jethro's Heroes 5-0, come off a week where he won to the only team who he could have beat. This never happens to me, as up until this week, I have had the most points scored against my team. He comes up against missing Megatron's Johnson at 1-4, who's coming off a loss, put him in the basement. And with Drew Brees back and heading to Carolina, the basement is where Megatron's Johnson is going to stay. I take Jethro this week. Huey's Hogs at 2-3 take on the shell-shocked Mean Green Machine at 3-2. If Carson Palmer is back to play the Jets and Phillip Rivers is heading to Denver, this match is going to be pretty close and will probably be our match of the week. But in this 10, I am taking Mean Green Machine. And lastly, we have Luke Ass Kickers at 2-3 visiting Mac Daddy's Madhouse, a surprising 4-1. And with the right lineup, one can pull off a win. With either one of them can pull off a win with the right lineup in. I think I'm going to take Mac Daddy on this one, and it also will be in a battle for a game of the week. Okay, another shout out. The Calgary Stampeders have clinched the number one spot in the West Division with a 48-20 win over the Argos over the weekend. So we know they're going off to the playoffs and hopefully on to the Grey Cup. So shout out to them. Hopefully it will work as well as my shout out to the Jays did. Things to keep in mind for owners. Thursday night's game, as mentioned, is the Denver Broncos in San Diego to face the Chargers. So could be a good game with Phillip Rivers and Trevor Siemian is coming back for Denver. And Monday Night Football sees the hapless Jets in Arizona. So Carson Palmer will probably have a good night there for MGM if he is back in the lineup. Bye weeks next week. We have Tampa Bay and Minnesota. Just glowing through people's rosters, not a lot of people being affected by this. I was going to bench my quarterback anyways after that crappy performance yesterday. So Jameson Winston, enjoy your week off. Better come back playing a little better football after that. Anyway, that's it for me this week. Take care. Have a great week. Enjoy all the sports coming your way with hockey, baseball, and the football. And the commission is off to Halifax to celebrate his dad's birthday and hopefully flying back in Monday night. So we'll get this back out to you Tuesday, hopefully with no delay next week. Take care. Have a great week.
Just relax for a moment. You're free as a carbonite. You have hibernation sickness.
I can't see.
Your eyesight will return in time.
Where am I?
Jabba's palace.
Who are you?
Someone who loves you.
Billy. What's that? I know that laugh.
We now can ban Vapodu.